Hello everyone, it's Kay here with another sponsored video by Handy Hippo Crafts, www.handyhippo.co.uk. You may well have seen my previous video where I was very proudly showing you my DT package. Well, I've actually got down to doing some work with it, and I have to say it's been an absolute pleasure to work with the items I've been sent. I couldn't use the ribbon and I couldn't use the sequins, but they'll come in handy for another project in the not too distant, purely because of colour coordination. And I did want to say, having used this Sweet Dixie card that I talked about in the previous video, that it really did live up to my expectation. It's been absolutely superb to work with. I can't tell you how wonderful it was to work with such quality black cards. So I'll move that out of the way and I will start a little run through of what it is I've done with my design team package. So we remember the Night Garden paper stack. I've got quite a bit of that left. These wonderful cottage cut cross stitch oval die set, which has proven to be every bit as lovely as I hoped it would be. So in the first instance I made a couple of cards. They are very simple but very effective for all of that. This is just one of the sheets of card from the stack that I showed you already. I've used a little bow here, then an organza ribbon bow and some little doodads here out of my stash. I cut out the oval dies. The cross stitch is apparent but probably not at this level of filming, and that was the first card that I did that I was very pleased with. I then went on to do a smaller card. This would be considered C6 I think in this country, and again I've kept it very simple to let the card shine through, to utilise the papers and coordination. And I just took a couple of bits from the stash, as you'll see there, just to finish off. All the cards are lined, and by the time you put the lining inside this quality card, I have to tell you, it just shouts quality even to the touch. So I'll leave that one there in the front. I then did a lovely thank you card, and you'll see I've just used ordinary punched out flowers, another of the ovals from the ones that I've cut out, and as simple as it is, I think you'll agree they are very effective. And it goes to show, if you're on a limited budget and you can afford to get only a few things at a time, you actually don't need very much, providing your paper and card is of a good standard, to start crafting right away. So that is another one. I then made these three little tiny cards, and again it's all about the coordination, just picking up and running with the papers inside the pad, a double layer of flower, a little bit of bling and a tiny little pearl drop, and I think that would be an acceptable card for any occasion. Again, I've lined them, and with that and the quality of the card, again it's a very good quality feel to the projects. I then went on to make this beauty, which I am absolutely delighted with. I've used a shaker component using the cottage cut oval dies, backed on the mirror board. I've used 2 layers from the die cut here, made a proper plaque from the larger side of the die, and then with acetate in, I've just put in some little bits of bling some little flat back hearts and some seed beads that just coordinate very, very nicely. Oh, I've got one escaping there. That's the only thing with this, you do have to make sure that everything is sealed, but I'll come to that in a little while. Use some coordinating ribbon and a button closure, and I'll just show you the inside here. These little flip books, as they're called, are very much on vogue at the moment. Very, very simple to do. I've left this page here clear because I plan to just put some little clear bags of goodies anchored down with washi tape. It won't be anything too much because obviously you want the flip book to close properly. I've made a pocket on this side and just put a coordinating gift tag in the front there. Opened it up and made some more pockets. Another plain piece, but this paper is just such a delight and it lends itself to this kind of project. Because the pages in the flip book are 6x6, this paper line is 6x6, and all you need to do then is trim down to give the mandatory border around the edges of what you've used. A few more tags here of different sizes. I've used these over the belly band, and it is just decorative paper clips, small, easy to send through the post. I've used a couple of little envelopes here with matching gift cards in the centre. Again, very, very simple, very, very straightforward, and ideal to send on to crafty friends who are doing these flip books. The paper line, as I say, is so beautifully coordinated. You can just work with any of it and just pop it into the flip book wherever you feel. I've utilised the ovals again to make just a decoration on the little pocket front there. This is American cardstock, also available from Handy Hippo. This is the centre oval, which I've turned into, again, just another decorative feature here to lighten up the overall effect of all the use of the mirror board. So that is that all done and settled. Now what I'd like to do is nothing on the back because obviously it's a book. I've just done a little turn of ribbon here, used a punched out heart in the black card stock, put a button on the front with a smaller button underneath to raise it, and that makes a really nice closure for the whole book. What I'd like to do is show you how to make this shaker front embellishment here without dropping more seed beads all over the place if I possibly can. For the sake of the video, I've actually gone ahead and prepared a few bits and pieces just to make it easy for you to see. So this is the largest oval. I've then used a frame because I want to be able to anchor the shaker aspect of the card very, very firmly onto the card stock. Again, the mirrored card in the centre, purely because it throws back the items that I'm going to put within the shaker card, and these are just little bits and bobs like so. A couple of bows, a couple of hearts. I've then got some seed beads here which I will put on top of this once I've sorted out the actual acetate front cover for the shaker. And all I've done here is use the second size in. I've cut two ovals. One is the frame which you see on the outside, and the other is the oval of the same size in the acetate. Then using the little foam pads, and these have been brilliant for this because you do need, when you're making these, to make sure that you aren't actually leaving any gaps for any little things to escape from from the overall process of making the shaker card. So I've made a whole oval finding of the mini foam pads, double-sided. I'm going to peel the backing off. As you can see, again, that is very, very easy to do. I apologise for any glare that might be going on here. It's a lovely sunny day today, and therefore it is going to, I think, scream a little bit on the mirror card and also on the acetate, but I hope it's not spoiling your ability to follow what I'm doing. I'm just taking all of these off. It's not as easy as I thought it would be, but hey ho, we'll just keep going. And once you've made these little shaker bits, they can actually be put anywhere. The main thing, as I say, is irrespective of shape, you do need to make sure you have a very, very good seal between the base of your shaker card and the acetate window, and really and truly that can only be achieved by using something of this nature to make sure that nothing escapes from the seal once it's actually anchored down to whatever you've decided to use. But it makes a very, very nice card. As you can see from my flip book, it makes a very, very pretty embellishment. It is important, if you possibly can, not to handle your acetate too much, because it does have an element of static about it, and it will, as you place it over a project, actually give rise to small beads and things lightweight dancing up toward the acetate and sticking. You can, I'm told, although I've never done it, use one of the anti-static fabric softener sheets and just wipe that over the acetate if you've a mind to, and that reduces static as well. So before I put my little lid on, I've put all the things into the shaker that I want to for the moment, and it can be, again, whatever you choose to use. And then I am just going to place this border very, very carefully around the previous oval, press down the sides. So I'm just going to, I've got my glue gun on. I needed to make sure I've got that one handy. Just press it down equally all the way around, and there is the essence of your shaker card. What I like to do, because all of these little pads are ultimately on show, is make a tiny little border of whatever base I'm using to place the shaker part onto, and I just glue that around with hot glue, and that acts like another seal for the project. You don't need anything that's wider than the gap that you want to cover, because it's just a waste of card. But this actually works really, really well, and the hot glue does act like another seal, as I say, within the shaker aspect. And you just literally run this around. You'll take a lot more time than me. I'm trying to, be very much aware of the fact that this has got to go and be uploaded, and people really don't want to be sat for hours and ages watching something like this come together. So I will just keep ploughing along here, but at least you will have an idea of how to go about it. And I just think this is such a nice finisher. Whoops-a-daisy. And it does mean that it's quite a professional finish. Nobody really wants to be looking at the ugliness of the glue pads from the side. It's not going to stick because I don't think the glue is coming out very well. My room is very, very hot, and it does affect the flow of the glue. So I'll just try and get this around to the back end here, so at least you can see it finished. You just trim off any excess, overlap at the base of your project so it's not visible. It's not the first thing you see when you look at it. Come on, just stick, would you please? Even the glue stick has gone a bit on the bouncy side with the heat, but I'm not knocking it. It's not yet May, and I think we might already be having a taste of summer in the UK, and I don't want to say that out too loud either because I'll frighten it away. However, there we are. That is the shaker bit, the shaker embellishment, all ready to go and place onto another card. It's a bit buckled, and that is purely because I've rushed so much, so you know, don't be put off by that aspect of it. It is really a very, very easy thing to do, but you do need to take time with it. The other thing I did on the one that's on the flip book is just place my ribbon across the lower half of the oval, and again out comes this silly glue that doesn't want to stick, and as this is hidden anyway by whatever surface you eventually use it for, you can be a little bit less caring about how you anchor this down, but it is not quite that much, methinks. I've got it, have I? Across the way. Trying to rush. And then I've made a bow with a little bit of bling on the front here. And that's just a hand-tied bow in coordinating colour. It's the same ribbon in actuality, but that just really does make a very nice finish to the shaker card embellishment. Pop that one on again. Really doesn't want to stick, does it? Just keep checking to make sure it's fairly level in your front, and there you have it. So it just shakes up beautifully all the little bits you put inside. If it were to be for a child, then obviously you could just print out their name and pop that in amongst all the shaky bits, and it really does make a very, very lovely card. Now for those, the last thing I'll show you, for those who actually haven't made a flip book as yet, I've got some more of the card sent to me from Handy Hippo, which is the American card stock. It's a bit of a bright pistachio colour, and it is 12 by 12 in size. And what you need to do basically is get your scoreboard. I'll just show you very, very quickly. Take out your 12 by 12 piece of paper with the good side facing down. This isn't quite 12 by 12, but it's not going to make a whole lot of difference. And then you score at 6 inches. You then turn your card and you score at 6 inches. And then because I'm who I am and I quite like to do things from a convenience point of view, I am going to take this top score and I'm going to score 1/8 of an inch either side of that centre score, like so. You then fold and burnish, and you do need to be careful if you're using a card that isn't of the best quality, because it will crack even if you double score from the inside and the out, unfortunately. But that is it. And then I take my scissors. I've only got these small ones with me, so I'll just carry on regardless. And what I do is just cut out that central panel where all the extra scoring occurred, which probably amounts to just under 1/2 an inch when you get right down to it. And you'll see why. 1/2 an inch, 1/4 of an inch, sorry. You'll see why in a moment. I've not cut that best, but I am rushing, and you will of course take a lot more time with your project. If you then fold and fold and fold again, you have a really neat area to decorate and play with. That card is really not a 6x6, so I'll just bring that back, get it in where I need it to be, pull it back. It will allow for a little bit of rough treatment, but not a lot. And in any event, in this scenario, most people are using washi tape to finish their flip books with. You can then put pockets in, decorate with your 6x6 paper that's been marginally cut down, and there is the start of your flip book. Now, I would like to say at this point, for anyone that subscribes to the Handy Hippo Craft channel on YouTube, there will be the opportunity to win this original flip book. I will put a couple of bits and pieces inside for my little giveaway, but you need to be subscribed to the Handy Hippo Craft channel on YouTube, and I'm hoping I'll be able to coerce Edie Jane Clark into picking someone this time next week that will have watched the video there and commented, which is also quite important, and they will then be in with a chance of winning this flip book. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm sorry it's been a little bit rushed, but there was a lot to get through. Do go over to Handy Hippo Crafts, check out their craft products. I know this weekend it is free postage, which is almost a 10-12% discount on whatever you buy, just by virtue of saving your postage. So happy crafting, everyone. Take care. Bye bye for now.